have a new trouble spot there, and then approaching Riverview to the Chain Rocks is backed up after that. Westbound 70 slow at the city limits, a little slower city. TR Hughes out in the busiest parts. Westbound 64, you've got heavy traffic from Kings Highway out through McCausland, slopes to Lindbergh to 270, approaching Clarkson to Topgolf, and 364 out past the Boulevard. South 270, Big Bend down through all the way to 55. They cleared that crash to the shoulder before 55. North 270, 64 up to Ladou's busy. South 170 backs up at the Parkway. Southbound 55 slow Arsenal through Bates. Eastbound 70 jams east of the Musial Veterans Bridge to 64, and 64 east of 255 midway to 159 is heavy. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
News, traffic, and the latest on the Redbirds. This is the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
All right, guys, welcome into Wednesday night, Redbird Rush Hour. Matt Pauley is in studio. I had to reintroduce myself to Matt today.
I forgot to turn the microphone on. That's
see,
how
look at
long
that.
I've
You just
been.
forget. You know, things you forget. Both of us in studio. Obviously, it'll be the two of us with Bernie Miklas tomorrow. Back to our normal Friday routine. Lots of good baseball
Thursday.
to get to. Oh, jeez.
Today's Wednesday.
Don't tell me bad news, Matt.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
On Friday, we will be the three of us. Today and tomorrow will be just the two of us.
We will not have a show on Friday.
No,
the Cardinals play at 5:00.
Get out of here. How did I not know that?
I don't know.
So we have a Cardinals game tomorrow afternoon.
Yes.
Which means a late start for me.
Right.
Sleep in.
Yep.
And then Friday we have Billikens early, but that won't impact anything but Chris and Amy.
Right.
And then so we do have the early game Friday.
Yes.
Like the 5:00 game.
Yeah.
Boom. There we go.
So tomorrow is our last rush hour of the week.
That's all right. We'll make the best of these 2 days.
Yes.
In fact, why don't we just kick it off with our spring training report and see what's going on down in Jupiter.
Now, a St. Louis Cardinals spring training report, sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And by Happy Roof, we always create happy endings on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, so you had a chance to listen to what the manager had to say today, Ollie Marmol. I haven't had a chance to listen to that. What was the kind of the tone of the conversation today?
Yeah, today talked a lot about Dustin May in front of his start because he was going to start today, and he went 3 2/3 innings, a run, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 61 pitches, 35 for strikes. So maybe not quite as in command of his pitches today,
right?
But the velocity was still where you wanted it to be.
That's what I care about, not because of velocity, but because of health.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a sign of health. If he's throwing the ball as hard as he was 2 years ago, then that's a line that you can say, well, then maybe he's as healthy as he was 2 years ago.
I mean, again, you look at it today, he had several pitches that were 98, 99 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's really good to see that that's going on. There was a lot of talk before the game about Kyle Leahy and whether or not you have to give him the Matthew Liberatore treatment in the sense that once they make the decision that he's going to be a starter, that he's given the opportunity to be in the rotation.
Yeah.
Because there was never like this threat of Liberatore coming out of the rotation.
No, not last year. No, they were going to manage some innings here and there, push back a start here and there. And you'll have to do that with Leahy. I mean, it would be weird to jump from a reliever workload to 170 innings. So you're not going to do that. But it's good to know that if he makes that, which we all assume he's going to at this point, because he's shown no reason not to be at this point in the spring.
His last time out was fantastic.
Yeah. And whether it works or not, we don't know, but you got to run with it.
And then a fair amount of talk about the infielders, Nolan Gorman and J.J. Weatherholt, what they want to see more so from Gorman, both offensively and defensively. And do you judge his productivity differently because of the power that goes along with it, which there's of course you do. If he hits 240 with 30 home runs. How many people
do you have that have power?
Very few. Ivan Herrera. Kind of, maybe
Herrera's got real power. Yeah. I mean, I think Herrera's got 25, 30 homer power just based on his rates last year. Right. He just missed time, so we didn't really get to see him get to that number. Burley, I think, can be 20 to 25.
Yeah,
I don't think he's 30, but I think he's 20 plus.
He was 20 last year, and he didn't play for the first months of the season, basically.
I think I would expect somewhere in that low 20s.
Yeah, I think you can go mid-20s. Like, if he had 27 home runs this year, it would not shock me.
No, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I would expect less, but no, it wouldn't shock me. It would be pretty much in line with last year.
And that's probably the same range that we're looking at for J.J. Weatherholt. If things go well, he could be a 20, 25
I think J.J.'s
guy.
20 with the potential for more down the road. But and it's not because he's got crazy bat speed or anything like that. He just knows what to swing at.
Yeah.
And, I talked about this the other day. I spent a lot of time on it last night when I was solo because I had a little time to expand on it. But, you don't have to have elite bat speed or, 110 mile an hour regular exit velos to hit home runs. You just need to hit the pitches that are suitable for hitting in the air. And one of the things that JJ does really well is work counts, work on attacking the pitches that he can do damage on, and then just letting everything else go until you get to 2 strikes, and then you become a little bit more of a contact-oriented guy.
Yeah. And, so many home runs are thrown, not hit. And
I think most coaches would say that. Historically speaking, home runs are thrown, not hit. Yeah.
So if you take advantage, if you do your part on the home run that's thrown to you, and I think that's what we're going to see from J.J. Weatherholt. I think his miss rate, the time, it happens to everybody, but those times where you hear the broadcaster say, oh, he wishes he had that pitch back. I think we're going to see that less than with Weatherholt than you see with most guys.
This is going to be an interesting comparison to me for Weatherholt. I have a guy that I think is very comparable, who's not left-handed. I've always used the Chase Utley thing because Utley was a lefty in second base. And I think that there's the possibility that JJ's that, but I don't think it's automatic. I think that's a high standard. He's a pretty damn good player. And the same thing for the guy that I'm going to bring up, and I'm bringing him up because they have a lot of the same traits, and that's Alex Bregman. Okay. They have a lot of the same traits. If you look at Bregman, he's not a bat speed guy. He's not somebody that's even in the top half in Major League Baseball in bat speed. And he honestly, since those ratings started being posted, they weren't always, a part of, the baseball savant category, but they started in 2023. So for the last 3 years, though, he's been in the bottom third of the league in bat speed. But then look at his numbers: 25 homers, 26 homers. He only had 18 last year, but he missed a bunch of the season last year. So that he would have topped 20 easily if he had just played without an injury. OPS is over 800, on base percentage. He actually, is very much like what Weatherholt is. And I think that's a pretty good comp.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I'm not sure that JJ plays in a ballpark that's as conducive to hitting 30 home runs as Daikin Park was for Bregman all those years in Houston. He got that short left field porch. So he hit 40 home runs early in his career. But again, I'm not sure he would have done that at Busch Stadium. And so maybe, and I don't think JJ's a 40 guy, but I do think JJ down the road is 25 to 30 just because he's that good of a hitter.
I would agree. Again, it's not this crazy bat speed. It's not this crazy power. It's just a dude who's a really good hitter.
Yeah. And, look, in most ballparks, 355 is a home run if you pull it. And, some of these guys that are hitting, 440 footers, that's great, but it ain't necessary. I'm not saying don't swing hard. I think swinging hard is better. You got more room for error because if you miss hit it a little bit, it still goes a little further. But that's another thing is JJ doesn't tend to miss hit too many.
No, and that was the point I was trying to get to. So every time we have these conversations, Kevin, I try not to put too much pressure on a guy who doesn't have a single major league at bat.
Yeah, I don't think it does though.
I
don't think he feels that.
Okay, pressure's the wrong word. I try not to put too high of expectations.
Maybe we don't want to ramp up fans too much. Yeah, I get you.
So that does come into the back of my mind. I really think about that, but I'm just so high on this kid as being a really, really good baseball player.
I don't think there's any question. It was always his rep. And look, we know this, and you can see it now. How lucky were the Cardinals that dude had a hamstring injury in college?
Huge.
Because if he doesn't have a hamstring injury, he might go 1 or 2.
Right.
And you get him at 7 because of a hamstring injury. And I know it wasn't the first one, but those are things that are manageable. It's not like a bad back.
Yeah.
It's not like you're dislocated your shoulder and there's a question about the stability of that moving forward. It's, to me, something that you can manage. It is a concern though. But he was healthy last year for the most part. JJ was. And something you probably want to keep an eye on. And I hope that that's going to be a focus this year too, is maybe not pushing guys to play through it. I don't mean forcing them. I just mean not letting guys push through injury. would be the better way to put it.
Right,
Because I know players are always the first ones that want to keep playing.
We have talked about that so much, and we can't add a whole lot onto it except to say that opening day is 2 weeks and 1 day away. The first injury, the first nagging injury, has probably already occurred. And, like what happened with Mason Wynn.
Right.
Mason Wynn had, they were doing a ton of work on the backfields. They had a really high intensity day one day, and he comes up a little bit sore.
Yeah.
Very normal
in spring training, especially.
Thing. Yeah. So they sat him down for basically 3 days.
Yeah.
So what happens when he has that same type of soreness during the regular season? Maybe you don't have the opportunity to sit him for 3 days. That's fine.
Sure.
But do you have
a day off before an off day, you get 2 days in a row. Yeah.
Exactly. Or do you hit it right from the beginning and say, he came in from soreness today, we're giving him the day, we'll reevaluate tomorrow? Like, can that just be the normal plan? When a guy comes in with a little bit of extra soreness, give him the day and then reevaluate the next day after he sleeps on it. You do that, you're going to be in a much better spot.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to talk a bit more about that, the roster construction and what the team is starting to shape up like as we go. We will definitely be talking about Team USA and Mark DeRosa. And to me, what is a potential debacle.
Yeah.
Like you have an elite, this is like even an elite team for an all-star team. You won't find an all-star lineup that looks any better than this. And yet they may be going home in the World Baseball Classic because of the loss yesterday. It all depends on what happens today. So we'll tell you all about that a little bit later on as well. But more Cardinals talk next on Redbird Rush Hour.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here, and I want to talk to you about selling your home. I'm not trying to convince you to do it, but what I am trying to tell you is if you're going to do it, you need to call Gloria Lou. I mean, it's just that simple. If you want the most money and the least amount of stress when you're selling your home, and I have sold homes many, many times. I don't know exactly how many, but it's at least 3 or 4, and it's never easy. It's never fun, but I can tell you this. It's a lot more fun when you get the most money for it, and it is a lot easier when you're dealing with an expert like Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. I've had really good fortune. I wish I had known Gloria throughout all these years of moving because the process would have been so much easier. She's got these proven systems, and she walked me through how they work, why they work, what separates your home sold guaranteed realty and what the work that Gloria does, what separates that from everybody else. And all you need to do is call and talk to them. You'll see exactly what I mean because they sell homes faster and for more than the average agent. And they've been doing this for 23 years. Gloria's been helping families here in St. Louis for that long. And look, on average, Gloria sells a home about every other day, and some agents do it 4 to 5 times a year. So she's an expert. She's always busy on this, and she gives you a written guarantee. And you got a couple of different ways to go. There's the first one, which is that Gloria will sell your home at a price and in a time frame acceptable to you, or Gloria will buy your home herself. Or she'll sell your home at 100% market value and pay you the difference if it doesn't reach that 100%. You're not going to beat the expertise. You're not going to beat these written guarantees. So you should just simply call Gloria Lou. 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. You can also visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. And as always, seller and Gloria must agree on price and possession date.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, eastbound 270 traffic is thinned out, but westbound 270 still a solid jam from Route 3 over to the Chain Rocks Bridge to the Missouri end of the Chain Rocks due to earlier problems. So the eastbound side's back to normal, but westbound still has difficulties there, obviously. Westbound 70, there's heavy stuff at the city limits. It's a little slower on Zumbell and around Highway K. Not that bad, really, on that run. Westbound 64 from Kings Highway out through the Hampton area that opens up at about Tam. Looks like we have an incident there, or they just cleared one. South 170 slow at Delmar back. Bumper to bumper, Ladue to 64. Eastbound 64, McKnight to Big Bend's heavy. Westbound 64, Spady to Ballas, Clarkson to Topgolf, and west of Winghaven to 70 is all slow. Southbound 270 is off the pace, approaching Olive to Ladue, and then 44 most of the way down to 55, slow spots from a recent crash. Southbound 55, a little busy. Gasconade Bates, eastbound 44, slow approaching the Musical Veterans Bridge. Eastbound 70, jams east of the Musical Veterans Bridge to 64. At 64, still slow midway from 157 to 159. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Take a thrilling ride with your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra to the far reaches of space in John Williams and Kevin Putt's A Cosmic Journey. Experience Kevin Putz's otherworldly concerto, Contact, featuring the Grammy Award-winning trio Time for Three. Then soar through the unforgettable music from John Williams's iconic film scores, including E.T. and Star Wars. March 20th and 22nd at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
All right, Redbird Rush Hour. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Good to have you back, Matt.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. What's I should have asked you this before we got on the air. We got to get into a segment. What are we calling it?
It's the weigh-in.
All right, so we're doing the weigh-in right now.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
it's the weigh-in. It's brought to you by St. Louis Weight Loss Injections.
Nice.
And what we're going to do every week is we're going to weigh in on a certain topic.
Yeah, I mean, we keep
Somebody
talking
asked
ball.
me,
Yeah.
do you have to like get on a scale every week? No, it's not that.
It's not that kind of weigh-in.
No.
We're not fighting.
No,
This isn't an MMA fight.
we could.
We could.
We could ask Netflix
I'll tell
to
you
give
this.
us millions of dollars.
Maybe you'll agree. Yeah, I was going to say, maybe
Yeah.
you'll agree with this, but if somebody will pay us to do that kind of a fight, we'll fight,
I would.
and we'll shake hands at the end of it.
Absolutely.
Just what would the one rule be? Like, just no face.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can go Anchorman style.
Yeah, no face. No face, no hair. Don't mess with
What
any of
would
that.
be fun? Like, would it be boxing? Would it be
I
like
don't know,
UFC?
I know that everything you have the advantage because you have the height, the reach, and everything else.
I mean, I was a terrible high school wrestler,
Yeah.
but I was a high school wrestler.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can't be boxing if it's no face.
That's true.
So you get the trident.
Okay.
And I will take the battle hammer.
I need something that will not cause me to bleed because we all
Well,
know I have issues
Let's
with that.
not do that.
Yeah.
Let's not do any of that. We'll just do it for funsies. We could do it on a video game if we want to do that. All right, so let's weigh in on the roster because we were talking about this off the air and in the sports office a little bit ago, and I think it seems pretty straightforward, barring a surprise or an injury. Right, Newt's going to start the year on the injured list,
Sure.
so it sure sounds like Nathan Church is the guy that's going to take that roster spot. I guess it could be Velasquez if they wanted to go that route. But, you know, Church gives you the better defense. He's a good base runner. He's a left-handed bat. I don't know how much they care about that, but, you know, without Newt, he would basically fill that spot because the rest of your bench is all right-handed because you're going to have Joel Pozo. Sure seems like Fermin and Sajasi are locks, and we know Ramon Urias is a lock.
Right.
So you've got your four bench guys in place. They're going to be there.
So 13 position players, is that what we're going
You could go 14 and 12 with pitchers, but I don't think they're going to go short on pitchers. I think they're going to go with 13 pitchers.
Okay, so for the four sures, we'll count them out. Herrera, 1.
Yeah.
Pages, 2. Let's go Pozo 3. Can we say those 3?
I don't think there's any question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are your catchers. Infielders, Burleson 4, Fermin 5, Gorman 6, Sajasi 7, Urias 8, Wynn 9.
Yeah, I mean, look, your only choice is going to be between Church and Velasquez.
Right. So you're at 9.
At least based on what we can see.
You're at 9 getting to the outfielders.
Yeah.
And Church, Scott, and Walker, I think, are there.
That's 12.
That's, yeah. So then that leaves you potentially with Nelson Velasquez. To
Well, and the problem here is
Who did I miss?
Well, is it Arias?
No, I included Arias.
Arias, Fermin, Sajasi.
Yeah, I named all those guys.
And Pozo, so that's 4. And then you got the starting 9 beyond that. So the starting 9 would be all of the starters at their positions with Church in left field or Velasquez in left field.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it's like an either or with those two guys. Unless something, look, somebody could get hurt the last 2 weeks, something along those lines. What I'm saying is there really isn't much of a decision unless they're willing to or thinking about keeping Velasquez instead of Church to start the year. But in listening to what they've had to say about Nathan Church, it doesn't sound like that's the thought process.
I'm missing. I'm not trying to sit here and do a math lesson here, but I'm missing somebody because when with Velasquez on the roster, I come up at 13. So again, 3.
So you've got the 9 starters, right? So you got Burleson, Weatherholt, Wynn, and Gorman in the infield.
Weatherholt's not on the.
Yeah,
there it is.
He's not on that roster in front of you.
Okay, so that's where.
Right. So barring an injury, the only decision could be Velasquez and Church, and it doesn't sound like they are positioning like Church is on the bubble.
No.
But you never know. I mean, like, again, they could lose Velasquez, so you never know if they want to try to keep them. And maybe they reach an agreement with him where they decide that, hey, we want to demote you, but, we'll make it worth your while. Because I'm not sure if I know he's on a minor league deal, but I don't know if he has an opt-out. That's the thing that I got to double check.
I'm not sure on that one either.
Yeah.
And if you think he's got a place on this team down the line, you really don't want to lose him just because he doesn't have a spot on the opening day roster. So that's part of the equation when you're going through all these things. Injuries can still happen. And then at some point they're going to start to get squeezed when Nootbaar gets healthy.
Okay. So this is just according to what I can find on the Google. And I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but according to this, he does not have a formal opt-out in his in a guaranteed MLB deal. He's fighting for a roster spot.
Okay, so there you go. So that's good for him, and that means you can probably put him in Memphis and sit him there for a little while.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know he's not on the 40-man now because that's why he's a non-roster invitee. Yeah. And but again, this is kind of like this is where it is now, barring an injury. That's the decision. Because Arias is going to be on the team for sure. It doesn't sound at all like they have any plans for Sajasi or Fermin to be in the minor leagues because they've been talking about all their versatility and the number of ways they can use those guys. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and the other thing is there are going to be 40. If you're going to need to make a 40-man roster move for Weatherholt, you would have to if Velasquez is going to be on the roster.
That's correct.
Yeah. So the weigh-in is being brought to you by our friends over at St. Louis Weight Loss Injections. If you have been thinking about getting on the GLP-1 train, I would certainly encourage you to talk to the great folks at, St. Louis Weight Loss Injections. I went over to their office. They just moved in. They just moved into a brand new office. It is beautiful. The people there are wonderful, and they'll sit down and they'll talk to you. And you know what? You might walk out of there and say, this isn't they don't think that I'm a candidate for this. And if that's the case, that's the case. They're going to be really honest with you. But there are a lot of people out there, including myself, who are candidates. I'm 5 weeks in. They told me ahead of time, like, you know what, you might get a little bit nauseous at times, things like that. I've had zero impact whatsoever in terms of not feeling good. I feel great. I'm not eating as much. Clothes are fitting a little bit better here recently, which is good as well. So it's not a miracle thing where you're going to lose 60 pounds in a month or something like that, but it is an opportunity to get healthier. And that's what I've been doing. It's something that I struggle with my weight, despite the fact that I work out a lot and I eat healthy and all those things. For whatever reason, I have struggled with my weight. So I'm very excited about the folks at St. Louis Weight Loss Injections. And I would love for you to just talk to them. You can head to their website, stlweightlossinjections.com, stlweightlossinjections.com. You get in $199 for the first month, which is absolutely fantastic. stlweightlossinjections.com.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
At 5:30, the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got some clouds right now, 46 downtown at the Arch. The Department of Justice has reached a tentative settlement with Live Nation, the concert giant that includes Ticketmaster, as we told you yesterday. But KMOX's legal analyst, Brad Young, says some states are not satisfied with the $300 million settlement.
But the real question is Ticketmaster still operating effectively as a monopoly? And I think that's what the states are going to try to get the courts to decide.
Part of the settlement charges Ticketmaster with creating a new ticketing system other companies can also sell tickets on. Although that feature aims to promote competition between companies, Young says some states are not convinced it will actually topple Live Nation's monopoly. A House bill is backed by popular Republican demand this session, one that would toughen Missouri's initiative petition requirements.
During a committee hearing, Kay Park with the League of Women Voters and Savannah Representative Dean Van Choyak had this exchange over whether petition circulators should be paid.
So you're fine with someone from out of state coming in here and circulating petitions and being paid by the signature to do so?
Yes, I would be.
I find that pretty disgusting. Thank you.
A Missouri House committee could soon vote on St. Clair Representative Brad Branderman's bill, which would tighten signature rules, make petition formatting stricter, and increase fraud penalties. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
A new payphone in Boston connects college students with seniors in Nevada.
The graphics on the bright yellow phone on Commonwealth Avenue read, "Call a Boomer." It connects to a similar phone at a senior living complex in Reno. Kala Kessler is with the group Matter Neuroscience, which set up the phones to connect boomers and zoomers.
They're two of the loneliest demographics.
Kira made a call.
I love it. I mean, I think younger people and older people, I would argue, need to talk to each other more.
We're often in our little bubbles, and we have a lot to learn from each other, despite our differences.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
An AI actress is turning heads again.
They don't see the human spark, the creativity.
That's Tilly Norwood, who, it turns out, is also a musician.
I'm just a tool, but I've got light.
The company that created the character with artificial intelligence has dropped a new Norwood song, Take the Lead. The video shows Tilly at a concert, entering a limo and soaring on an inflatable pink flamingo. There are nods to her lack of humanity. She fails a CAPTCHA test. A concert goer holds a sign that reads, "Tilly, I'll eat all your cookies." Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It teases an appearance at this Sunday's Oscars, and the video opens with a disclaimer that the production was made by 18 real humans. The post office in Edwin Hubbell's Missouri hometown could soon bear his name. Senator Eric Schmidt has introduced a bill to rename the Marshfield Post Office after the astronomer born there who proved the existence of other galaxies and that the universe is expanding. The Hubble Space Telescope was named in his honor. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, for tonight, we'll have the clouds clear out, low 33. For tomorrow, sunshine and a high of 56. Right now, it's 46, feels like 31 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate. Evans is a proven fighter and the only candidate for U.S. Senate with guts and know-how to get the job done. As an attorney, she took on China and corporate criminals. Jeannie Evans won billions for working families. As senator, Evans will fight and win for you. She'll work to cut taxes and lower the cost of living. Evans believes that keeping Illinois safe will take more than just wishful thinking. It takes courage, and Jeannie Evans has the record to prove it. Evans will always be tough on crime. She'll hold China accountable for trafficking fentanyl and stealing our personal data. Jeannie Evans puts America first. A proven fighter. Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate.
I'm Jeannie Evans, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Illinois.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Attention St. Louis sports enthusiasts. On March 24th, the Blues and Cardinals join forces for a night of STL sports fandom. It's Cardinals night. Immerse yourself in the ultimate celebration of our city's passion for sports when the Blues take on the Washington Capitals and Enterprise Center. Theme night buyers will take home an exclusive Blues and Cardinals co-branded quarter zip, perfect for showing your support for both teams. Get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com/promotions.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
Did you see the forecast? Another huge storm is tracking right for us.
I saw. Honestly, I'm not worried.
Not worried. Your roof is older than mine.
I called Happy Roof. They did a pre-storm inspection, caught a loose flashing that would have caused a major leak.
Wow, I really need that peace of mind.
Protect your happy place before the rain starts.
Booking my free inspection at thehappyroof.com or call 314-897-2310. It's all about the happy ending.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
KMOX, delivering accurate, timely reporting every day and rising to the moment when major stories unfold.
President Trump announcing the U.S. has decimated Iran's missile capacity.
He assured the world that the oil and energy supply through the Strait of Hormuz would flow freely.
He reiterated that the war could end soon.
It's going to be finished pretty quickly.
Americans don't want this war. Americans are sick and tired of forever wars.
If it matters, it's on. 104.1 FM, KMOX. Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, the traffic's all thinned out on 270 through Madison and North St. Louis counties, so that's good to see. No longer any issues. Westbound 70 still heavy, Kings Highway through Jennings Station. After that, it's wide open to Wentzville. Westbound 64, the Science Center out to Clayton Skinker is still kind of slow. And then 364 through Lake St. Louis Boulevard, then it's opening up, so that's better. South 170 still bogs down just south of the Parkway. Eastbound 64 is still slow, 170 through Hanley. South 270 still has a couple of slow spots from 44 to 55 because of an earlier crash. Westbound 30, 141 to Summit, that's still backed up. On the Illinois side, we still have heavy traffic. Eastbound 64 east of the Musial Veterans Bridge over to 64. That's eastbound 70, excuse me, Musial Veterans over to 64. And then 64 is still slow midway from 157 to 159. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
All right, let's get going back on the Redbird Rush Hour. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here in studio on KMOX. We are going to talk about the WBC and Team USA and Mark DeRosa's inexcusable screw-ups in all of this. And also, can we get... we're going to save this for we'll do it in the next segment. A little more Cardinals right now, and a couple things on the stream. If anybody wants to throw in their 2 cents, by the way, you're welcome. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, feel free to contribute. We got a question. Let's see, where is it here? I think it's a little further up. Here you go. From our buddy Matt, who says, hey, can you explain the only occasional appearances of Rainiel Rodriguez in spring training, please? You want a first crack?
I mean, he's in minor league camp.
Yeah.
So there's a very limited number of at-bats and opportunities. So, minor league guys will get called back into
And he did play today.
Yeah, but he's a minor leaguer, so he's going to go play with his minor league team.
Yeah, this is the thing. He's 19.
Yeah.
He's not in the major league picture. And that's why he's not playing past the first week or two of spring training games.
Yeah, and
they need all of those innings and at-bats for guys that are in the mix for this year, and they've got 5 catchers in the way.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you've got the 3 guys that are going to be on the big league team, plus Bernal and Crooks. Like, there's just nowhere to put it.
And as much as we talk so much, and rightfully so, about decisions being made about the future, the actual act of spring training is about getting ready for the season.
Right.
So you need guys to get ready for the season. If
guys his age, you get that early peak, and that's pretty much all you get.
Yeah.
Guys that are closer to the big leagues, AA and beyond, they're the ones that stick around a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so it's nothing against him. It's not a reflection on him at all. I know they love him. He looked great in his early at-bats against major league pitching. He didn't look out of place at all. But he's not in the picture until at least next year, barring something crazy this year. Because I just don't know how you're going to clear out 5 people in his way.
Yeah.
The only way, I mean, if he were to go nuts, let's say he starts at AA, and I'm not sure that's a given, but if he does, all right, he'd have to go nuts there for a couple of months. Well, what are you going to do with Bernal and Crooks, who are both at AAA? There's really no room. So it's probably next year, the earliest for him anyway. So that's all it is. It's just a matter of where he is on his developmental curve of being closer to the big leagues. It's not a bad question, because that's a good question for a lot of players. Why did Baez go down when he did? He's one of the best hitters in camp. He's actually going to be in the major league picture this year. But it's because they need these at-bats for the guys that are going to be in the big leagues right now, because these last 2 weeks, those guys aren't getting 2 or 3 at-bats and leaving the game. They're going to play full games now.
Yeah.
Starting to.
Starters are getting 4 at-bats now.
Right.
Yeah. Can we, so Aaron says, Aaron says the Cardinals are batting .214 as a team. That's really sad. I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying it's good. But here are the bottom 4 batting averages in Major League Baseball in spring.
Teams.
No, I'm going to give the averages. And then
okay.
Teams. 214, 202, 197, 189. Now those 4 teams, Kevin, and then I'm going to ask you, what do they all have in common? St. Louis Cardinals, Miami Marlins, Washington Nationals, Houston Astros.
Yeah, young teams building.
What else do they have in common?
Well, they're in Florida.
They're in Palm.
Yeah,
those ballparks.
They're all like geographically right. They are in literally the worst places to hit in Florida.
Yeah,
and in all of spring training.
So the 4 teams that have the worst batting average in Major League Baseball are the 4 teams that are playing in those 2 ballparks in Palm Beach.
Yeah,
and you are playing the vast majority of your games. I'm not saying it's good.
No.
Saying,
look, this team's going to struggle offensively. We know this.
But it's not a coincidence that those 4 teams are the 4. Now, none of them. Houston will be okay, but I'm just saying you got to look deeper than the average. Those 4 teams are the bottom 4 in all of Major League Baseball and spring training, and has a lot to do with where those games are being played.
Yeah, and look, again, spring training batting average tells you nothing. Nothing. Now, if you're combining it with the quality of contact and who you're facing, and you're somehow coming up with an evaluation based on multiple criteria, you could then find meaning. But there's no meaning in a stat. There is meaning in traits. So like we talked about Dustin May. Does the velocity really prove anything? Nothing other than that he's healthy, and that's the number one concern for Dustin May.
Right.
When we talked earlier this week about Jordan Walker. Bernie did a big numbers crunch on it and talked about some great stuff. I did a Twitter thing on it and talked about it yesterday. The worrisome part about Jordan Walker isn't what his stats look like. The worrisome part is that it looks exactly like it did last year, which is bad swing decisions. You're not doing the things that you need to do better and improve upon. Even if they don't get results, you can still see like consistent hard contact. You can still see lots of lineouts. Well, with Walker, you're seeing, strikeouts 30% of the time.
Yeah.
And then, as Bernie pointed out, of the balls he's put into play, 80% are either ground balls or pop-ups on the infield. That's what matters. Not the batting average, not the slug, not the on base, but it's those specific things underneath. And unless you're looking at those or you're down there, like, the coaching staff and the front office, it's hard to know whether somebody's taking good at bats or not based solely on stats. I mean, you could look at Chase Davis and be like, oh, he's got 2 home runs and he's hitting 240 compared to whatever somebody else. Right. But he's also struck out half of his at bats. He's 12 strikeouts in 25 at bats. Like he's had a couple of at bats where things look good and it makes those numbers look better than they really are.
Because it's a tiny sample size. You also have to look at where things were happening. Like I think one of the most promising things about Joshua Baez this spring was that it did not look good for him early on. He had a ton of strikeouts in his first handful of games. And then all of a sudden he found it. The strikeouts basically went away and he started hitting home runs.
Yeah.
Where like Chase Davis, it'd be one game it looked good. The next game it didn't look good. At the end, the stats might look the same, Kevin, but that's not the same story.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember, like just off the top of your head, like what year Yadier Molina debuted with the Cardinals?
I'd have to,
it's early 2000s.
Okay.
Right? He played 20 years with the team. I'm going to be a jerk now, and I'm going to tell you that up front.
Okay.
So our commenter, Get the Facts Right, 121, says Cardinals baseball don't really matter to me. No, don't really matter now to me until Yadier, Yadiar, gets back. The signing of Yadier is the reason why I believe in this Cardinals team. Yadier has more brains than Oliver Marmol. Fine, whatever on all that. But your name is Get the Facts Right, and you can't spell or complete a sentence. You're a big fan of Yadi, who's been a part of the Cardinals organization for more than 20 years, and you don't know how to spell his name? Get the facts right, bro. I'm sorry. I hate that. I hate people that spell McGuire Guire.
Okay.
He's got 700 home runs. If you can't, I'm sorry. I'm going to calm down.
Okay.
But come on, dude.
I think the bigger point is
don't tell other people to get things right when you can't spell your favorite guy's name.
Going into the content of what was said too, Yadier Molina can help this organization.
100%.
If you think he's the difference between them being a bad team and a good team, or the difference between them being a division winner and missing, he can help guys individually. The final record this year, whether Yadier Molina is in the organization or not, would be very similar to itself. He's not winning this team games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you just replaced the current manager with Yadi, it won't change the record this year. That's not a knock on Yadi. Yadi's awesome. There's nobody. I'm the biggest catching nerd there is. Nobody respects Yadier Molina more than me. There are a lot of people that respect him as much as me, but nobody respects him more than me. But you don't understand how it works if that's what you think. Let's see. What did he say? Get the facts right. Says your opinion don't, Kevin. Don't what? And it's doesn't, dummy. Your opinion doesn't count, I guess, because Y-O-U-R instead of you-are, Y-O-your. Well, no, that's great. No, because he's saying you're a Tigers fan. So my opinion doesn't count because I'm a Tigers fan. No, my opinion counts because I'm not giving you an opinion based on emotion. I'm not fanboy. I'm not going to give you rose petals and sunshine when things are good or when things are bad. And I'm not going to crap on things when the team are good. I'm going to tell you what's real. But I don't know. I just find it real. McGuire doesn't have 700 home runs. I know, real third man. I was being sarcastic. I was exaggerating. He hit a lot of home runs, though. He was author of one of the most famous seasons in Cardinals history. And if you can't spell his name, I do judge you.
And he would have been a Hall of Famer if not.
He's not a Hall of Famer because he's putting needles in his butt and admitted to it and got caught. But I hate being corrected by people that aren't even spelling or using the correct words. Don't do that. And if your favorite guy, you don't know their name and don't know how to spell it, it does undermine your point.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe it's not fair on my part, but
I told you I'm being a jerk. I'm not saying I'm being a nice guy here.
I do get text messages with grammar and I'm not the perfect speaker in the world. I understand that. But I do, when people send in messages that have a lot of spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes, instinctively, sometimes I devalue the point they're making.
And I don't even mean in general, like, because look, people are using voice to text and that thing sucks. It gets things wrong all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. Spell your favorite guys right if you're trying to make a point.
Yeah.
Just be courteous about that. Always get the name right. Now, maybe that's the journalism school in me, right? The who, what, where, when, why. You got to get those things right, period, the end. All right, let's talk WBC coming up next here on Redbird Rush Hour.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, it's not all that bad on the highways right now. Westbound 70, Riverview out through Jennings Station is slow. After that, it's wide open to Wentzville. Westbound 64, Hampton to Clayton Skinker, a little slow. And then there's a little slowdown. Lake St. Louis Boulevard toward Prospect, not really that bad there. South 270, south of Gravois down to 55 is still busy. Eastbound 64 slow, 170 to Big Bend. South 170 is only delayed at the U Club Tower. And on the Illinois side, eastbound 64 Packers Avenue, or eastbound 70 Packers Avenue to 64 is still heavy, and 64 east of 157 midway to 159 is still slow. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Cardinals single game tickets are now on sale for the 2026 season. The schedule delivers big-time matchups, including weekend series against the Cubs and Dodgers and visits from the Boston Red Sox. Add in a promotions calendar stacked with fan favorites like all new giveaways, a Hawaiian short and shirt set, golf-inspired hat, dark mode jersey, and a whole lot more. It's Busch Stadium at its best all season long. Lock in your seats today at Cardinals.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgaier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
All right, let's talk WBC because the fate of Team USA is in the hands of both Italy and Mexico tonight because the United States lost a game that, let's be fair, should never have lost.
Nope.
They wildly outgun the Italian team, which isn't trashy, by the way. The Italian team's got some really nice players.
Feel good for Gordon Graceffo and Thomas Ajayci.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're both there. Obviously, Caglione had a big home run yesterday. They've got Pasquantino's on that team. They got some talent.
Caglione, yeah, you just mentioned him. Like,
right.
He's the dude.
Yeah, they got talent. So I'm not trying to diminish Italy, but what I'm trying to say is if you're this, maybe greatest assembly of offensive talent the United States has ever put in the WBC, and you have the players that you have access to here, you should be better than that. But the part that's secondary to me because baseball happens. You're going to lose games. On a given day, good players can beat better players, right? I mean, it can happen.
Yeah.
But the fact that the manager, Mark DeRosa, didn't know the tiebreaker rules, and I know he says he did. I think he's BSing. I don't believe him.
He's lying.
Yeah, I don't believe him.
Those words do not come out of his mouth in the interview the way they came out. He very clearly stated that
we punched our ticket.
Yeah. And he wouldn't have been as open about guys being a little slow coming in the next day if the game would have mattered.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's the big deal.
No, but they clearly, as a team, treated the win over Mexico Monday night like it was the clincher.
Yes.
And they stayed till 1:00 in the morning at the ballpark and they celebrated and they talked. I don't know if there's any booze involved because there really isn't anymore in baseball. So I'm not.
They said they were drinking beers.
Okay. So you're sitting back drinking. And again, As long as you're not getting,
again,
S-faced, who cares?
That doesn't bother me, but it's the messaging the next day where you're so open about the fact that guys are going to crawl in today. You can't say that the day of a game that has importance.
And you can't say no and laugh about it like it's a cool thing. Like, well, we really got after it last night. Some of the guys are dragging today when it's a potential elimination game. So now the scenario is this. I feel like I'm coaching a perfect game tournament for 14U players because we have to get into these tiebreakers. Believe me, you want to talk to people who know tiebreakers? Youth coaches. We know tiebreakers. But so here's what has to happen. If Italy wins tonight against Mexico, and I think that game starts at 6.
It does. 5 minutes.
Then United States is cool. They're the number 2 seed from the pool. They're gone. If Mexico wins, they need Mexico to score 5 or more runs.
Yeah.
So a 2-1 Mexico win, U.S. goes home. They're done.
Just crazy.
That's really silly.
I'll talk more about DeRosa during Sports Open Line.
Good,
I
man.
have thoughts.
Good, man. I have more, but, man, we don't have time for it. So stick around. Matt Pauley's got Sports Open Line next year on KMOX.
The legendary Fast Eddie of Fast Eddie's Bon Air and Cardinals Hall of Famer Jason Isringhausen.
Hey, it's that time of year again, man. It's starting to warm up. And the sun's getting a little brighter. I can hear the crack of the bat.
Yeah, the true pros are doing just a little bit of stretching here and there, getting rid of those winter kinks, getting ready for those days that really count, Eddie. I'm talking about the ones you'll always remember at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Boy, now you got that right. It is all they can do to get ready for the lineup of the delicious eats, man. It's a half-pound Fat Eddie burger. Man, it's a hot chick on a stick, that big elwood on a stick, and the succulent peel and eat shrimp are sitting over there on deck.
You do know I have to stretch out a little bit before I start hitting that dance floor, listening to that live music 7 days a week on that huge outdoor patio.
Well, it's like any other training, man. You got to warm up to get that party face on. It's really difficult out there to have that much fun on that warm, toasty patio. Like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, it's Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. Dr. Jean Wang, a WashU Medicine gastroenterologist at Siteman Cancer Center.
Once you're 45 and over, even if you're not having symptoms or even if you don't have a family history, we recommend everyone get screened for colorectal cancer because everyone is at risk. Everyone is at risk, even if you're not having symptoms.
This is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and for more information, you can visit siteman.wustl.edu.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1860. Member FDIC.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, things are really looking pretty good to wind things down for the evening. There's not a whole lot of traffic left. Westbound 70, that's still kind of slow from Goodfellow out through Jennings Station. Opens up before you get to Lucas Hunt. After that, it's a good run all the way out to Wentzville. Westbound 64 has thinned out pretty much from Hampton out through the McCausland area. No longer any delays through there. It looks good until you get out west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard. There's just a brief slowdown between there and Prospect. Not much. It'll probably be gone in less than 5 minutes, I would think. Southbound 270, that's also cleared out. We had delays last 10 minutes ago from Gravois down to 55, but that was just a slowdown. And again, it's thinned out. Eastbound 64 through the Interbelt, that looks good. South 170 coming down to 64 is okay. Southbound 55 through Gasconade Bates, and it's been good down in Festus all evening long pretty much. If you're on the Illinois side, eastbound 70 coming through Packers Avenue and over to 64 looks good. And eastbound 64, just a little slow briefly east of 157 right now. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The U.S. has launched an intense barrage at Iranian Navy ships in and around the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has attacked commercial ships across the Persian Gulf and targeted Dubai International Airport. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper says of U.S. progress.
Every day, we're striking hard at Iranian ballistic missile and drones. To date, we have struck more than 5,500 targets inside Iran, including more than 60 ships using a variety of precision weapon systems.
Israeli military has just announced a wide-scale wave of strikes on Tehran. President Trump says the U.S. must finish the job in Iran hours after suggesting the war could be over soon because Washington had run out of targets. Republican Congressman Don Bacon from Nebraska, who's on the House Armed Services Committee, tells CBS's Major Garrett.
So I think it was overdue. I think the effects of the operations have been superb. I think it's very unfortunate and terrible that school got hit, and it was done by accident, I think.
President Trump says he will tap the U.S.'s Strategic Petroleum Reserve to help lower oil and gas prices. During a stop in Kentucky, he also announced
the International Energy Agency agreed to coordinate the release of a record 400 million barrels of oil from various national petroleum reserves around the world, which will substantially reduce the oil prices as we end this threat to America and this threat to the world.
Richard Kahn, one-time accountant for Jeffrey Epstein, has testified in a closed-door deposition before the House Oversight Committee. That panel continues gathering information about the late sex offender and his dealings with powerful people. Democratic Congressman Suhas Subramaniam of Virginia.
He was able to evade tax laws. He was able to evade justice. He was able to get away with a lot of crimes because there were white-collar professionals around him helping him fix situations.
Inflation held steady last month, but that was before the war with Iran sent energy costs soaring. In total, consumer prices have climbed 2.4% from the same time last year. A new analysis of police shooting data compiled by the Washington Post finds that fatal police shootings of minority groups change a lot by state. In Mississippi, police shot and killed Black and white people at nearly the same rate. But in Utah, Black people were much more likely than whites to be killed. CBS's Anna Schechter says racial disparity is not what caught her eye.
They're highlighting that in states where you have very loose gun laws and very high rates of gun ownership, you had a higher rate of people being shot and killed by police. And that's actually very meaningful.
This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
6:04, cloudy sky, 45 degrees downtown at the Arch. An EF1 tornado briefly touched down in rural St. Clair County with maximum winds of 94 miles per hour early this Wednesday morning. It was also an EF1 in Morrow Township in Madison County. Just over 1,200 without power in Madison County, more than 400 in St. Clair County.
St. Clair County Emergency Management Agency Director Herb Simmons says, fortunately, there were no injuries.
Now the neighbors are pitching in, helping one another clean up their yards. And the good thing is it looks like the people were insured. So that's always a good thing.
The areas that were hit by the twister are Marissa, Lensburg, and St. Laborie. Simmons says fire chiefs from those areas all reported the tornado warning sirens all sounded. Simmons says Ameren, Illinois had a 75-foot pole that was still energized. However, power had to be cut in order to reset the pole. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Ownership of the Dome and Convention Center could be consolidated under one board if a bill is passed by the Missouri Senate and signed by the governor. CEO of Explore St. Louis, Brad Dean, says one board means one vision for both facilities and thus a better experience.
So improving the ability to serve the guests and modernizing the facilities will help attract more events and better events, and it'll deliver a better experience to those who are coming to the Dome and the Convention Center today.
Asked about the financial future of the facilities, which face a combined $100 million shortfall for renovations, Dean says the streamlined vision will allow them to better utilize the tax revenue generated by city and county hotels. Illinois pharmacists could soon be required to tell patients when their prescriptions are recalled. A bill advancing in the state Senate would require pharmacists to notify patients of any medication recall from the point of sale. Sponsor State Senator Doris Turner of Springfield, Illinois, says too many people are finding out about recalls on their own, and that needs to change. An Illinois law that prohibits people with nonviolent felony convictions from ever possessing a firearm is now under review by the state Supreme Court.
Capital News Illinois reports the case involves James Benson, a Cook County man who was convicted of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Benson had previously been convicted of unlawful use of a firearm without a firearm owner's identification card. Benson's attorney argued the state law prohibiting him from owning a firearm violates the 2022 U.S. Supreme Court ruling that said gun control laws have to be consistent with the nation's historical tradition of regulating firearms. Attorneys for the state say the law is constitutional and that there's a long tradition in America of prohibiting convicted felons from owning firearms. The court did not say when it will issue a ruling. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Let's get you Roger Brand at the traffic center now.
Well, things are in great shape to wrap it up, Michael. On the highways, there's really not much going on. Westbound Highway 70 is thinned out at the city limits. Westbound 64 looks good in the city and out at Wentzville. North 170, there's a little slowdown. We had an airport road's gone. Just a little slowdown. Eastbound 70 at Packers Avenue and eastbound 64. It's looking good now between 157 and 159. So wide open running on all these area interstates for you. I'm Roger Brand at the Michael's Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
No question, our latest cold front has done its thing. The rain is gone and the temperatures have dropped. We're cloudy skies this evening, slow clearing overnight, windy and cold. 33 for the overnight low. Temperatures this evening will drop into the upper 30s. On Thursday, sunny. It's a chilly day, but it's a pretty day. 56 degrees. Thursday night, partly cloudy and windy. Winds turning to the south. 45 degrees. Friday, partly sunny, windy, and 63. Let's keep going because there's some more stuff coming. Friday night, cloudy skies, 38. Saturday's an okay day. Partly sunny and 62. Sunday, rain and some thunderstorms. It does not look like anything overly severe at this stage of the game. It's windy on Sunday, though, and 66 degrees. Cold front comes through late in the day. Sunday night, rain and wet snow. Big, sloppy, wet snowflakes as we go down to 22 degrees. Monday, sunny, windy, and a really chilly 36 on Monday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is a cloudy sky. Right now, 45 degrees, and the feels like is 31 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Come on, let's get going now.
From KMOX Sports.
We're primed and ready. All day, baby. Man, let's go.
This is the Gray Bar Sports Open Live. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here we go on a Wednesday night. Welcome in. It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley with you for the next 2 hours. So great to be talking to you. So great to be talking to you from St. Louis. This is my first show back after spending the last month or so down in Florida for Cardinal spring training. Tom Ackerman is handling the final 2 or so weeks of that, and we'll play some audio coming up later on this in this program that he sent back, which is great. But I am glad to be back in St. Louis, and I am glad that opening day for the Cardinals is 2 weeks from tomorrow. Can you believe it? We are getting so close to the start of the season They are going to wrap up Grapefruit League play coming up a week from this Sunday before they go play a single game in Springfield against their AA team a week from this Monday. And then they'll have a couple days leading up to the start of the season when they match up against the Tampa Bay Rays on Thursday night. Hopefully you're going to be there, by the way. Some tickets do remain available. I know the Cardinals do expect to sell out, but you can get tickets starting around $49 or so. So if you've never done the Cardinals opening day thing, no matter what you think the season's going to look like, it's a pretty special day. So I would encourage you to find your way to Busch Stadium. And of course, we'll have all the action from all day. We make it quite the event here on KMOX. And that again is 2 weeks from tomorrow, which is absolutely crazy. If you want to chime in on anything that we're talking about today, you've got multiple opportunities to do so. You can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's a call. That's a text. Tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, you can leave a comment in the chat, and we'll get to some of those as we go along. We'll also keep you updated on what's going on between Italy and Mexico. They are underway in Houston in the World Baseball Classic, and Team USA fans are fans of two things. They're either just fans of Italy or they're fans of lots of run scoring. If either of those things happen, the U.S. will advance. If Mexico wins a low-scoring game, that could be a problem for the United States, as they could find themselves out of the World Baseball Classic, not making it out of a pool play. And that's what we start with today. We mentioned a little bit at the end of the time with Redbird Rush Hour with Kevin Wheeler. Man, terrible look for Mark DeRosa. Former Cardinal, super good dude. I know he cares about the World Baseball Classic. But I mean, the optics of an event that's put on by Major League Baseball, hiring and basically an employee of Major League Baseball because DeRosa is a host on MLB Network, like that puts even more pressure on him to be good at the job. And he made the comment, and I don't know how he can try to walk this thing back where he says that he realized that the team did not, that they understood that they were not locked in. Because if you heard the interview that he did on MLB Network, it was very clear. He said that they had already punched their ticket to the out of pool play. There's no way that you can sit there and say that he did not believe that was him misspeaking. And then he puts together a lineup, which is clearly not the best lineup. And then beyond that, he does things inside of the game that you would not do if every run mattered, just the way he used pitching. And even before the game, he talked about the fact that guys were crawling a little bit coming in after there was a lot of celebration the night before. And I don't even care about the celebration the night before. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that they stayed in the clubhouse until 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning having some beers like that. I'll trust these guys to be able to perform in the next game. But the fact of the matter is that the game that you're about to play actually matters. Then the optics of saying that is terrible. And anybody in his position should know that. So I know today that, people they didn't have just him. Bad look. And I think it gives us the opportunity to take a step back and say, is USA Baseball in the World Baseball Classic, are they putting the right guy at the helm of the program? And this is not like a personal shot at DeRosa, who I like. I've spoken to him once in my life, but I like him. I think he does a nice job as a host, all these things. I like Mark DeRosa, and I know he really, really cares. But you've got so many former Major League managers who are out there who would just jump at the opportunity. You've got so many legitimate coaches who would love the opportunity to be coaching a national team in the World Baseball Classic. you've got all of these things going on, and the manager's Mark DeRosa and the coaches are his buddies. And it certainly seems like they did not understand tiebreaker rules, and that could very easily cost the United States an opportunity to be playing in the finals round, getting out of pool play. And if that ends up being the case, it's a really bad look. It's a really, really bad look. And this is a team that very, very, very easily could be playing for a championship. They are a very good team. They were one of the favorites to win the WBC this year. And it's just a situation where you look at the manager and you feel like he did not put his team in the best position to win. We are going to take a break. And when here's what we got coming up on the program today. Just a quick rundown. We didn't get to that. Bernie Miklasz is going to join us here in 4 or 5 minutes. Later on, we're going to talk with Brian Dunseth from Apple TV. He's part of coverage of MLS soccer on Apple TV. We'll talk with him about City SC at about 7:35. We'll listen into what Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol had to say, and we'll hear from you as well. So we've got a lot to get to. It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. More coming up in just a moment right here on KMOX.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business?
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
This season, step up to the ultimate game day experience with Cardinals all-inclusive tickets. Enjoy a full buffet, complimentary bar, and unbeatable views inside Busch Stadium. It's great food with great company for every pitch, hit, and home run. Choose your experience in the Budweiser 703 Club, UMB Champions Club, Proficient Red Jacket Club, and more. See the game like a VIP with all-inclusive tickets. On sale now at cardinals.com/tickets.
If you're getting close to retirement, or maybe you're just thinking about retirement more in general, you're probably thinking about when can you retire? Will you have enough money to live on? You know, we all have retirement questions that, let's be honest, they're overwhelming and just can stress us out. But Steve All can help answer those questions so that you'll feel more confident about this next phase of your life. Check out his show, The All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 10 and Sunday evenings at 6 here on KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. You know, they do such a great job. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes now. This month, buy one, get one room of carpet clean for free. Unlimited rooms of carpet. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and let them know that Dave sent you.
Bernie Miklasz on KMOX is sponsored by Stewart's American Mortgage, home of the Bagel Loan, and by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
Back at it on KMOX. It is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. My name's Matt Pauley. Thanks for spending a portion of your evening with us, taking you until 8 o'clock tonight. It's Wednesday. It's around 6:20. That means we're able to bring in one of my favorite people to be able to talk to. You hear him all over KMOX. He's part of Redbird Rush Hour. He's part of Gas House Gang, Dave Glover Show, Sports on a Sunday Morning. And, of course, you can read him and watch him over at STL Sports Central with daily videos and daily columns coming out. As mentioned, daily, he is Bernie Miklasz. Bernie, always appreciate our conversations. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Good to be with you again. And I hope you got a chance to rest up a little bit, let the family get to know you again, things like that.
So I have a 20-month-old daughter, Bernie, and she was very shy when she first saw me, and she's not normally shy with me. It was very weird. It was almost like, is he really here? And then my first night home, she would not fall asleep without me in her room. She was just screaming unless I was by her bed until she fell asleep. So I know for sure that at least my 20-month-old missed me.
That's adorable. That's something you're going to remember the rest of your life, and she will too. I love that. That's awesome.
So yeah, good to be able to see I don't want to spend too much time on this WBC thing. I don't know how much you really care about it, but do you have any thoughts on like just the gaffe from Mark DeRosa, clearly and obviously not understanding the tiebreaker rules on this thing?
There's no excuse for that. It's unacceptable. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not just saying this because he screwed up. I never got the whole Mark DeRosa thing. I never got it. The last World Baseball Classic. I mean, I know he played in the major leagues. I know that he's been very visible on MLB Network. This has nothing to do with the kind of person he is, but I thought he was shaky the last WBC, and for him to not know that they still had to win that game, to assume that they were already punched into the next round, and then to put, three of his best players on the bench because apparently they were, after the first game when they beat Mexico, they were all hanging around the locker room. I assume they're having some adult beverages. Nothing wrong with that at all. But he was talking about how some of the boys are tired today and blah, blah, blah. I mean, how can you not know that you had to win that game and that it was all hands on deck? I just thought it was staggering, and I think even the way it was handled in the aftermath, where even though he acknowledged his mistake, I give him credit for that, but that stuff got scrubbed clean from like MLB.com. Like what? Look, if you're that embarrassed of the guy, why did you name him manager of the team?
And some of the Kevin brought this up. Dusty Baker is managing the Nicaraguan team. You don't think you could call like Joe Madden or Mike Schilt or Joe Girardi or insert any other former major league manager's name here, and they wouldn't jump at the opportunity to manage this team?
Oh my gosh, that is such a great point. And yet you're right, man. And we could even build that list out. There's so many guys out there. What about like Buck Showalter, for example? I mean, there's a bunch of them. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. And then you know, and I know over the last several years, 6-7 years, Mark DeRosa's name comes up for various managing jobs in the big leagues. That's got to pretty much ruin his chances.
Yeah.
So
He's going to be fine on TV, but I mean, for a while, people are going to look at him on TV and go, yeah, that's the guy who didn't know the tiebreaker rules.
Yeah, it's what an embarrassment. Listen, I really do like the WBC. Don't get me wrong, and I'm gonna try to watch. I don't think I'm gonna watch it live because I like to spend time with my wife, Kirsten, at night. It's the only time during the day we can watch TV and hang out. But I'll start watching it late. So yeah, I'm naturally interested, and I've watched Puerto Rico, and I've wanted to see Yachty's team, and I haven't caught the DR yet. I find myself more interested in some of the other teams, and it's not because I hate America. It's just that the World Baseball Classic to me is personified by those teams from the Puerto Rico and the Dominican and all the Latin countries, and I don't know, they just give it the flavor, the color, the joy, the energy, and so I just kind of naturally migrate to them because I think that's what the WBC is all about.
All right, let's get into the Cardinals a little bit. And your most recent video was focused in on Nelson Velasquez because he's somebody who maybe could be that right-handed bat in the outfield. The overall numbers for him, Bernie, 348 with an 1116 OPS. We the standard disclaimer when it comes to spring stats. He's got the 2 home runs. One of them was legitimate. The other one just kind of floated out, not hit all that hard. Has he done enough for you quite yet to really be that guy that you look at as being that right-handed option in the outfield that's going to show you a little power?
As of now, he has, because if you look at all of his stats are terrific. He's either first or second among Cardinals players, the ones that have the 12 most plate appearance. He's first and second in like all of these categories. And he draws a lot of walks. His on-base percentage is terrific. He does hit for power. And then I kind of scrubbed down and did more on his background, his major leagues. And this was not in the video. I updated it for something I wrote. If you look at his slugging percentage in the major league since 2022, and that's when he broke in. Now, granted, it's a bit of a small sample, but it's not all that small because we're talking he's had 600 plate appearances in the big leagues. His slugging percentage among like 430 some players over that time, he's like in the 76th percentile. Like, in other words, the top 24% of slugging in Major League Baseball since 2022. And then in 2023, he hit a home run every 9.5 at bats. And, that was even better, a better home run ratio than Aaron Judge. He had the best home run ratio in Major League Baseball based on, granted, a relatively small sample, but still. The other thing about that, he finished 6th in slugging that season, and the 5 guys ahead of him are really prominent names. So his problem, as but for our audience, his problem was his major league career fizzled out because of I'm just going to call it the Jordan Walker, Nolan Gorman problem. He's just swinging at everything and not drawing walks, striking out way too much, easy to get out. So I give him credit, man. He went back. He said, I'm going to get out of the fire here. Went to Mexico for a year, just got his swing back together. Then last year, finished up the AAA. But if you look at last year in Mexico and also playing for the Pirates AAA team, man, his strikeout rate was under 20%. His walk rate was really high. He slugged 552. Chaim Bloom deserves a lot of credit for taking a flyer on him. They signed him to a minor league contract, so it was a no-risk move. Usually we say low risk. There was no risk here. But if you're looking for a right-handed power bat who can help you in the outfield, and you felt enough of him to take a chance on him, and then he puts together a spring training like this, I'm not sure, and you have an opening in left field, I'm not sure why you wouldn't give him the job at least to start the season.
I'm not one, again, to look at spring stats, but Bernie, I am one to look at spring trends, because as spring goes along, the numbers start to matter a little bit more. You're facing better pitching. Guys are being sent out. Velasquez's 4 games in the month of February, he was a 200 hitter with a 633 OPS As the calendar turns to March, those numbers jump to 348 and the 1116 OPS, 1486 OPS with that 462 average. So it does feel like as he sees better pitching, his numbers are actually going up.
Yeah, and I can't say enough about, and by the way, and he's still young at age 27. I mean, it's not like there's some 33, 34-year-old guy. Not that that's old, but you know what I mean. I can't give him enough credit of like recognizing why his major league career stalled out. Okay, what do I have to do to make it better, to get back to where I want to be? He very strong-minded discipline, because he fixed it. And the other thing I found out about him, I didn't say in the video, I went back and read some stuff when he was a Cub and when he was a Royal. His teammates loved him. I thought, well, listen, I hate to be like this. I thought, well, was he kind of a jerk in the clubhouse? Did the manager just find stuff they didn't like about him or whatever? It was the exact opposite. He was very, very popular with his teammates. Matt Cotaro, the manager in Kansas City, couldn't say enough nice things about him. So he's a good guy on top of everything else. He's kind of the guy you root for. I mean, I love the fact that he said, I'll go to Mexico. I'll rebuild my career.
Yeah.
I don't have too much pride. I'm hungry. I want to get back. And he took a minor league deal. So I think, listen, if Lars Nootbaar was ready to go, it would be a different situation, but he's not ready to go. And frankly, you look at Jose Fermin's stats this spring, they're brutal. I know, and Sajasi's hardly played, and so it's not like anyone else has put in a legit. Well, I would say Nathan Church. Let me correct myself. Nathan Church will be playing out there, even if this makes a team. They both can play out there, but Nathan Church has had a good spring. But it's not like you got 3 or 4 guys that have put up these great numbers this spring. I mean, the thing's wide open. And Velasquez has put in a legitimate claim, and Nathan Church has put in a legitimate claim. Because Church, I think after today, his on-base percentage is 500. And he's hit for some power. So, and I think they could get by pretty well with Velasquez and Church playing in left field until Nootbaar gets back. And that's the thing; you don't know when Nootbaar is going to be back.
No, and we might see him starting to do some baseball activity. Sounds like maybe the next week or so, but Bernie, that probably still means you're at least 3 weeks into the season. Like right now, as it sits, you would think the absolute earliest we could see him is 3 weeks into the season. And basically every day that goes by that he doesn't do anything, we push that back one more day.
Well, that's right. And and I'm sure they're going to be careful with Newt as well when he returns. I don't think they're going to push him. He'll be, writing his name in the lineup for like 5 days a week or something. I think they'll probably try to space it out a little bit just to be sure he gets his feet under him and they're not doing too much too soon. So it's an interesting situation. I mean, you and I and Wheels have talked about it. I mean, Jordan Walker just keeps getting worse. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if it's spring training or not. There's a point in time where you did all this stuff in the off season where you have to provide some evidence that shows you're making at least a little progress. He's put 18 balls in play this spring, including today, with 3 more ground balls, by the way. 12 of the balls he's put in play this spring, 12 of the 18 are ground balls. And some other ones are pop-ups. So again, I know no one out there, all due respect, has to tell me, well, it's a small sample. Well, it's spring training. I know all of that. But then again, when you have guys that need to prove something, spring training is the only thing we have to go on that gives us any kind of look at like, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that dude looks a lot better at the plate. I think sometimes we overdo the whole small sample thing because I hate to break it to people that are always like throwing that out there. Oh, that's a small sample. It's a small sample. Spring training itself is a small sample. So what? I mean, no, I'm sorry, but you can't get 500 at bats in spring training. So you got to go on what you see.
Yeah.
And some guys just look better than others. Victor Scott doesn't look good. Walker doesn't look good. Nolan Gorman, I'm not saying he looks good. Don't get me wrong, but he's hit 2 home runs. He's driven in 5. Like his batting average is terrible, but he's drawn walks. He's cut way down on his strikeout. So if you look close enough, at least he's got some stuff done, because right now his walk rate's higher than his strikeout rate. And they're both really good rates. That is spring training. I get it. That doesn't prove anything. But to get back to what I originally said, you just want to see some signs of progress. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. So I think sometimes the small sample matters and sometimes it doesn't, because it's different guys are doing different things. If you're an established hitter, then we can play the small sample size game, because you know that guy's going to be ready when opening day hits. When there's people who have something to prove, that's where this matters more. And also, like Bernie, when somebody tries to fix something in the offseason, then you expect it to the extremes at the beginning of spring. So if Jordan Walker is going to spend an offseason trying to make better swing decisions, then you would think that he would come into spring and we would see a noticeable difference at him swinging at low pitches and not doing it. You would actually expect that there'd be more like strike threes called on the lower portion of the zone, because he's doing this extreme reaction to what he's worked at in the offseason. And we haven't seen a bit of that. And that's what's alarming to me.
Right. And see, I totally agree with your philosophy on this, because it's also my philosophy. Yeah. When you set up, spring training, and certain players know that, hey man, I got to put some numbers up. I got to get going here because there's going to be some competition. I think it's fair to evaluate them based on what they do in spring training. I also think it's important, though, to differentiate between, like ground ball singles and bloop singles, and, a guy that might have a low batting average, but he's hitting rockets. He's hitting the ball really hard. I mean, you have to sort of work that in too, because that's, bat speed and all that stuff, exit velocity, that stuff really does matter. But let me throw this out there if we have a moment.
Yeah.
And I may even do a video about this tomorrow, because I was thinking about it today. Does the fact that they've told, let me say this quickly. I'm trying to figure out a way to put it out there without rambling. Did the Cardinals make a mistake by, in effect, saying, well, no, hey, Jordan Walker's our right fielder. He's out there. We want to see what he can do. We're going to let him play. Was that a mistake? I mean, because really, if you think about it, is he really competing with anybody? I would say no.
He should be. I don't think anything should be guaranteed to him.
Right.
And if this holds up, Bernie, and we get in, we ignored, I say we, like the Cardinals ignored, but we in the media did it too. We ignored the red flags that went up during his final week and a half of spring training before he made his major league debut.
Right.
And we just looked at the overall numbers. So
that's right.
Let's not do that. If he gets into this final week and a half, and the numbers are right where they're at right now, and then nothing happens to him in that final week, I don't think he should be guaranteed a spot on the opening day roster.
No. And I listen, if you're letting other guys know, a lot of guys on your team, hey man, this is a competition. We want everyone competing for a job, except, oh, by the way, not you, not the right fielder, and not the center fielder. And by the way, Victor Scott, I have no problems with his approach. It's just a question of whether he's good enough, and his bat speed is slow, and he still hits the ball in the air too much. But, those two guys offensively just brought your outfield offense to the ground last year. And as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Big Mouth, and I apologize, they both should be competing for a starting job this spring. Nathan Church looks great. There is, if you asked me right now who would be better in the lineup playing center field, I would say Nathan Church, even though I recognize you're going to lose some stolen bases and you're going to lose a little defense. I don't think you're going to lose a ton of defense. No. And Victor Scott, by the way, should be on the club, and Victor Scott can be used for defensive purposes. But listen, that said, Walker and Scott have two weeks to go before opening day, so I hope they get something going. I'm not rooting against them. I'm just saying, man, I think it sends a bad message when a couple of your guys really know. They really know down inside they don't have to compete against anyone. I don't think that's a healthy situation.
He is Bernie Miklasz. You read him at STL Sports Central. You watch him at STL Sports Central. But more importantly, you hear him right here on KMOX all over the place. Bernie, have a wonderful rest of the week. We don't have a rush hour this week on Friday because of a Cardinal baseball game, but we will talk again very, very soon.
Love being with you again, Matt. Take care.
Awesome. Very good. That's Bernie Miklasz joining us. Always enjoy our conversations. We're late for a break. Let's get to it here on KMOX.
Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate. Evans is a proven fighter and the only candidate for U.S. Senate with guts and know-how to get the job done. As an attorney, she took on China and corporate criminals. Jeannie Evans won billions for working families. As senator, Evans will fight and win for you. She'll work to cut taxes and lower the cost of living. Evans believes that keeping Illinois safe will take more than just wishful thinking. It takes courage, and Jeannie Evans has the record to prove it. Evans will always be tough on crime. She'll hold China accountable for trafficking fentanyl and stealing our personal data. Jeannie Evans puts America first. A proven fighter. Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate.
I'm Jeannie Evans, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Illinois.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's proof. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100.
Take a thrilling ride with your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra to the far reaches of space in John Williams and Kevin Putt's A Cosmic Journey. Experience Kevin Putz's otherworldly concerto, Contact, featuring the Grammy Award-winning trio Time for Three. Then soar through the unforgettable music from John Williams's iconic film scores, including E.T. and Star Wars. March 20th and 22nd at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Turning 50 doesn't mean slowing down. It means getting smarter about your health. That's why we created Neovitin Men's 50 Plus Multivitamin. It's doctor formulated to support your energy, immune health, and overall vitality. Plus, it's made in the U.S. using the finest domestic and international ingredients. Take control of your health with supplements you can trust. Look for Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, or online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, made for men who keep moving forward.
Friday morning, it's men's Billikens basketball Atlantic 10 tournament play. Pre-game 10:15, tip at 10:30. Hear all the action here on your home for Billikens basketball, KMOX.
Back at it on KMOX. It is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. My name's Matt Pauley. By the way, this is probably a good time. If you've got anything that you want to chime in on the Cardinals, feel free to lock in. Give us a call, 436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's the number to call or text. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, or you can leave a message on the video chat for those of you who are watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Text message comes in from the 563, says, if Walker shows that he can't handle major league pitching after the middle of May, send him to Peoria and try to trade him for a bag of popcorn. I know you're being a little bit facetious in that. So two things can be true. And this is important. This is really important. Jordan Walker is still a relatively young guy with tools that cannot be taught, that if ever refined, can turn him into an incredibly compelling major league hitter, maybe even super high level, all-star caliber major league hitter. All those things are still inside of him. And I know there's people listening to me right now that don't want to hear this, but you probably need to hear it. Last year, he was one of the worst major league hitters walking the face of the earth. Right now, he has done nothing in spring training to show that he's going to come out of it. Maybe he still will. We heard a lot about the work that he was putting in the offseason. Maybe we just haven't seen it yet. I leave open that possibility. So two things can be true. There's a scenario where he does not earn a spot on the Major League opening day roster, where there are just other guys that earn that spot and you have to send them to Memphis. That can be true. And I even question, how much do you get out of him going to Memphis? But you can get something out of it where he's not bogging down the Major League roster. At the same time, you don't just give up on him. Even though he's been around for a few years at the big league level, we can argue that he should have never gotten here in the first place a couple years ago when he did. You still try to develop him, especially with this staff and this group that's going to be better at developing guys. I'm not willing to give up on Jordan Walker. I'm not willing to guarantee him a major league spot on the roster for opening day, but I'm also not giving up on him. And I think that's the sweet spot. And I think that's where the smart place to be is, because you don't run, and maybe he never develops, but he's too young to just give up on him. Our friend Aaron sends in a message and says, I kind of called it that Nelson Velasquez would be the right-handed bat. I was joking, but it might be true. I remember when you sent in that message, Aaron, and again, two things can be true. This is the two things can be true edition of a Gray Bar Sports Open Line, I guess. He was not brought in to be the right-handed bat. Ramon Arias was. And that's who they signed. That's who they gave the major league contract to. So, Aaron, I remember when you made that comment, because we were talking about all the various options that they could go with for a right-handed bat. At that point, we thought it would be a right-handed outfield bat. The dynamics changed when they moved Jose Fermin and Thomas Saggese out to the outfield a little bit, where all of a sudden you just needed a right-handed bat. It really didn't matter positionally where that right-handed bat was coming from. So that was the change. But this is important to me because the Cardinals stated, Chaim Bloom stated, that they were going to bring in a right-handed bat, a legit right-handed bat, and they did. Now, just because Nelson Velasquez maybe goes out and wins a job, that doesn't mean that's what he was brought in for. He was brought in to compete for a job. They said they were going to bring in a right-handed bat. They brought it in Arias. Velasquez has the opportunity to win a job here. That doesn't change anything that happened with Arias and them following through on what they were going to say, or what they're following through on what they said. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. I'll have a moment for some calls in our final segment. We'll do that in just a moment. Final segment of the hour. We still got a whole second hour to get to. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate, like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-529-2856, 800-529-2856, or biglou.com.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first served. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate this hometown holiday with Dirt Cheap and Budweiser. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4-RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for Burn Balance Complex, which is the latest tool you can find at supplement superstores. It is top of the line. This is a complete metabolism system, not just a fat burner. So you get the metabolism boost, all-day focused energy with no jitters or crash. You get help with appetite control and cravings, and it'll reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels. It is a fantastic tool, especially for those who don't want prescriptions or injections. So get out to supplement superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
Just a couple minutes left here in hour number one of the program. We'll hear from Oliver Marmol, his daily comments from his media sessions that he takes, that he does down in Florida. That's going to be coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, 314-436-7900. If you want to get in here, like Kevin, who has given us a call. Hey, Kevin, you're on Sports Open Line.
Hey, thanks, Matt, for having me. Hey, I got busted by my wife a day or two ago when I said, hey, 17 days to opening day. And she said, how many days until Easter? I didn't have an answer for her. So I'm sorry. Anyway, my comment is about Joel Pozo. I wondered, I love his story. I wondered why in the world did we sign him to a major league contract over the winter? But the dude has earned a spot on opening day roster because he can catch, he can play a little bit of first base. He's that right-handed bat off the bench with a little pop. But more than anything, he's not afraid of the moment. when I see he's going to come up in the 7th or 8th inning, and we got a chance of something, he's not afraid. He's going to take his hacks, and I'm good with that, regardless of what the outcome is. So I'm doing a little Pozo campaigning here.
All right, Kevin, I love it. I appreciate the phone call. Here's my take on Joel Pozo. Everything you just said, I think I generally agree with. I love his story. I love who he is as a guy. I think he fits in the clubhouse quite well. I am disappointed that at least to start the season, Jimmy Crooks is not going to get the opportunity to show who he is, because this is kind of the moment with Bernal on the way and Rodriguez not much behind him. There's a finite amount of time to give Crooks a big league opportunity. So this is nothing against Pozo. I just think the ceiling is so much higher for Crooks. I was a little bit bummed to see him get sent to AAA, but I think we'll see Crooks before we know it. And Pozo's having a really nice spring, 333 average, OPS close to 1,000. Can't argue with that. Tom, I'm gonna go. Tom, you're on I have like 10 seconds for you. If you can just make your point really, really quickly.
Tom, the point. Hi, Matt. The point is, when you came to St. Louis, I really didn't know what to expect. But when you broadcasted that game the other day, you were fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you sounded so good that I think you ought to be broadcasting a lot of games. And the part that you did with the man and baby, I laughed so hard, I think I fell on the floor. Thank you for we really seen your personality. And you ought to do more games.
Tom, thank you. We're so blessed with amazing broadcasters in St. Louis with John and Rook and Claves. Any opportunity they give me is awesome, but that is really, really nice of you to say. And I had fun doing some games down there in spring. It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Software stocks have been under pressure from rising AI competition. OpenAI unveiled Frontier, a new enterprise platform intended to mesh different systems and data so companies can more easily build and manage AI agents. OpenAI says enterprise customers make up 40% of its business. Rival Anthropic also announced a new AI automation tool for businesses, including legal services. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
Experience music, magic, story, and wonder with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in Scheherazade, Magic and Myth. Feel bold energy and haunting beauty as violinist Leila Josefowitz performs Alban Berg's deeply moving Violin Concerto. Then be swept away by Scheherazade. Saturday, March 14th and Sunday, March 15th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. The work is guaranteed, and it's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. No extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, since 1926, 100 years. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
All right, listen up. FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every single day through March 15th. This is a really great deal. You're going to want to take advantage because from now until that final 68 is revealed, you're getting daily profit boosts for a chance at a bigger winning on your college basketball bets if they hit. Trust me. You don't want to miss a single day. Build a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Or you can try live betting and you can jump in after tip-off has already happened. Best of all, with FanDuel, you're going to get paid instantly when you win. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says he will tap the U.S.'s Strategic Petroleum Reserve to lower oil and gas prices, which have risen due to the U.S.-Israel war with Iran. More from CBS's Linda Kenyon.
Speaking in Hebron, Kentucky, the president said the U.S. military has made great strides against Iran less than 2 weeks into the war.
They no longer have radar. They don't have anti-aircraft equipment. They don't have anything.
And Trump describes higher oil prices due to the war as a short-term excursion. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The Department of Energy says in a social media post it will release 172 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve beginning next week. President Trump says that the U.S. must finish the job in Iran after suggesting the war could be over soon because Washington had run out of targets. Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington is the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee.
I don't think it's going great. There's sort of three ways of looking at it. One is how are we doing at degrading Iran's ability to wage war and with their missile capacity, their drone capacity. There, I think, we're making some solid progress. We don't have specific numbers on it.
Lawmakers in Washington are raising questions about how long the war with Iran could last. The Pentagon tells Congress the first week of the Iran war cost the U.S. $11.3 billion. CBS's Torian Small reports.
The cost of this gives a lot of Republicans pause of this prolonged war. And then also, again, it's accountability and oversight that we're hearing from lawmakers really on both sides of the aisle here.
A 1,300-pound NASA probe re-entered Earth's atmosphere today, nearly 14 years after it was launched. Marlon Sorge, a satellite expert with the Aerospace Corporation, says there's little to worry about.
The risk is extremely small for getting hit by anything. The world is big. Where it's coming back is mostly over ocean. And honestly, if I knew that a satellite was coming back near where I was, I would be more likely to go outside so I could watch it.
The Department of Homeland Security has reinstated the Global Entry Program. CBS's Michael Wallace with that.
DHS had suspended the expedited customs clearance and TSA pre-check for pre-approved travelers on February 22nd, citing the partial government shutdown. During the suspension, some travelers had to wait for more than an hour. Lines could still be long at security checkpoints as more TSA agents unwilling to work without pay call out sick or quit.
Arizona State says it will not renew Coach Bobby Hurley's contract after 11 up-and-down seasons. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call
800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At 7:04, it's a cloudy sky. Right now, 44 degrees. The feels like is 31 downtown at the Arch. The state-appointed board taking control of the St. Louis Police Department is asking for millions more to make repairs to the buildings that the board will inherit. Are they spending the money they're currently receiving, though?
Of the $16.4 million the department received for maintenance, around $5.5 million is specifically for facility management, according to the city's budget director, Paul Payne. Payne shares how much they've spent thus far.
Facilities has spent 3.2.
And we've got about 3 months left in the current fiscal year?
Yes.
3 months to spend the remaining $2.2 million. Payne says the city's Board of Public Service handles larger, more serious work, but there are many needs across the city's many buildings, and they cannot get to all of them every year. The majority of the rest of the $16.4 million is intended for fleet maintenance. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The National Weather Service confirms an EF1 tornado touched down in Morrow Township in Madison County. An EF1 also hit parts of rural St. Clair County.
Part of rural St. Clair County had significant storm damage, but no injuries. Emergency Management Agency Director Herb Simmons.
The biggest area was the southern part of the county, the Marissa, San Libory, Lindsborg area. It was a scattered, it wasn't anything, it's a rural area. But, a couple of homes sustained substantial damage and some of the farm buildings and some grain silos.
Between Madison and St. Clair counties, nearly 2,000 are without electricity. Simmons tells KMOX Ameren, Illinois, is making progress, though, in restoration. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Washington University has joined a new initiative called Third Coast Foundry. It's made up of 8 Midwestern universities looking to strengthen their presence in the Bay Area.
To really provide a resource of venture capital funding to our companies in St. Louis without having them relocating to the West Coast or the East Coast. So the intention is for these companies to stay here in St. Louis.
That's Doug France, who says WashU innovations have spawned dozens of startup companies, but often Midwest universities have a tough time getting on the radar of those venture capitalist funders. Collectively, the partner universities account for more than $10 billion in annual research investment. Forecast overnight, clouds 33. For tomorrow, we've got sunshine, high 56. Right now, it's 44. Feels like 31 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
Back at on KMOX, it is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. We are taking you for another hour up until 8 o'clock, and then during the 8 o'clock hour, we are going to have our Redbird Rush Hour, what's the name of the show? Gas House Gang Replay. There you go. Sometimes I confuse all the shows, all the different sports shows we have here at KMOX. 314-436-7900. That's how you call or text if you want to chime in on anything that we are talking about. You can also tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. We are currently efforting Brian Dunseth. He is a match analyst with Apple TV and MLS, as I believe he's going to be part of the broadcast this upcoming weekend as City SC matches up against LAFC. And that's going to be on the road coming up Saturday night. And City, three games, 1 goal scored. It's not looking great. Now, look, I don't want to beat up on them because you have a new coach, you have a new sporting director. I think we all knew going into the season that the roster left a little something to be desired for sure. But it's, I guess what frustrates me, and again, I'm really, I don't want to beat up on City right now. Like I think all teams that go through regime changes, they deserve a little bit of grace, especially at the beginning of what's going on. And so I apply this. It would be unfair of me to be giving and I don't think I'm giving the Cardinals a free pass, but I'm definitely much more understanding of a team that's not going to win a lot of games because they have a new regime. It's a new era. They're rebuilding. They're doing all of these things. So I even though it's been a little while since our first year of existence, even though it's been a little while since City has had success, I want to be fair to them. And to be fair is to say they've got a new coach, they've got a new system, they've got a roster that needs to be improved in a big way. And that's where they're at. All that being said, the thing that I am most concerned with right now, and I'm going to apply the same standard to the Cardinals. I want to be entertained. I want to watch a team that is going to play hard, do some fun things. We'll see what the score is at the end of the game. That's one of the reasons I always lamented last year going to Cardinals games and seeing so many open seats was you never knew what Mason Wynn was going to do. And I'm not trying to say that you should buy a Cardinals ticket just to watch Mason Wynn. That's not what I'm saying. But to say that there was no reason to watch the Cardinals, I would push back on that and push back very hard. And I understand. I think Cardinals fans were trying to make a statement towards the team, showing that they were unhappy with where the team was at. I understood it. I very much understood that feeling. I don't think that I don't see it as much now that not only has the regime changed, but so many things have happened in a short amount of time. Okay. So if you, and I'm not trying to go off City SC, I'm sorry. I naturally and instinctively talk about Cardinals. If you don't think things are different because, based off what we have seen, the moves that have been made, how different it's going to be just in the profile of the two baseball decision makers going from Mo to Heim. Like, I don't think you're totally paying attention. Anyways, I went on a sidebar. I didn't need to go on a sidebar, and we're very happy to be able to welcome onto the program right now. He is a match analyst with Apple TV covering MLS soccer. He is Brian Dunseth. He joins us right now. Brian, thanks for taking the time with us today. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. I apologize. My phone wasn't ringing for some reason, so I apologize for being a few minutes late.
No problem. No problem at all. We are certainly happy to be able to have you. I was just talking about like the entertainment value of City SC because unfortunately, and it's only 3 matches into the year, they have scored just 1 goal. And so often as we watch them play, it really seems like the other team is just at a very different level. How would you assess where this organization is at right now as they go through this change with a new coach and a new sporting director?
Yeah, for me, secondary phase of a transition. I think when you have the idea of MLS 1.0, which was so incredibly successful, then you have the transition from manager, sporting director, general manager, however we want to verbalize it, assistant coach. Those that theoretically understand the DNA of what St. Louis was kind of built upon heading into its first expansion year. It is not unique just to St. Louis. It's honestly something that we see in terms of a transition period. But I take on fully the frustration. I mean, I've watched 2 of the first 3 matches played as I'm prepping for this game in LA, and I see all the elements of a team that has every right to be successful, but at the same time, as we all know, there's no God-given right. Just because you step on the field, you're worthy of the full 3 points. So whether it's a couple of referee decisions, whether that's a goalkeeper standing on its head, maybe that's a lack of quality in terms of finishing. I still, again, and maybe this is me not being pessimistic, but looking at it from the outside, looking in and being free to have a different view of it. I see a group of players that I don't think are poor. I see a group of players, quite frankly, that should be pushing for that playoff spot. But these are also the challenges of a Western Conference that becomes very, very convoluted with the addition of, say, a Houston Dynamo reload or Real Salt Lake reload, and a Western Conference that is going to become just a crazy firefight for those not named San Diego, LAFC, and Vancouver to start the season.
You said something that was interesting when you said that all the components are there. when you do look at the roster and you look at those components, what are some of the areas, some of the specific things that you see and say, man, this could really be a strength for City?
I like Edelman and I like Durkin. I like the engine room, if you will, of the midfield. I know at times, you can see having been in the league as long as I have, since 1997, I've seen different qualities in teams that I never thought would be successful and would go on to win an MLS Cup trophy. And then teams that I thought literally would step on the field and they would just smash everyone and weren't even a playoff team. But again, I look for elements. I do like the front three. I love the fact that you got a big point man. I know it's different than Joao Klaus and kind of his prime, but you got a guy that you can play into, hold up play, quick combination, and a target player. I like the fact that you have two kind of established veterans that understand how to roam and find their spacing in between kind of the outside shoulder of a center back, inside shoulder of a winger. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the continued build included the strength in the defense and the continued competition for roster spots. And I think overall, and this is maybe the one part I'm most critical of when I look at roster builds, roster constructions, and kind of the evolution of a newer build, is that you almost, when we talk about competition for spots, that's something that's really important, because I think it is sometimes lost on us judging the players for 90 minutes between the white lines. It's more about what happens from day to day. The moment that you cross the line, whether it's 5v2, it's small side, it's progression to goal. What you want is like this killer mentality of competition that breeds the idea of success, where it's not your manager, it's not your coach, it's not your coaching staff, that almost that the group of players polices itself and challenges itself to get better and better each and every day. But again, when you have a slow start, that's not as easy to complement. It's more of how do you kind of read through the lines and find the gray areas, and where the marginal gains are that much more important at this stage of the year.
So we watched this team be led by a sporting director and Lutz Pfannenstiel for 4 coaches, and there were some things that would change from coach to coach to coach, but there were some basic principles that very much stayed the same under Lutz. Now there's a new sporting director in Corey Ray. Does the DNA of this team, when you're watching them, does it feel different now under a new sporting director?
I think it's in the early phase of trying to figure out what exactly it looks like. And honestly, I look around the league, and you look at Chris Henderson, who in Atlanta, after his time in Seattle and his time at Inter Miami, and reuniting with Tata Martino, with that type of money available, Mr. Arthur Blank Home Depot money, you would have thought instantaneously that's one of the contenders in the top of the Eastern Conference, and yet they're barely scoring goals and they haven't won a single match yet. And then you look at maybe a Bruce Arena out in San Jose, and you say, how do you lose Christian Espinosa? How do you lose Chicho Arango? How do you lose Joseph Martinez? And all of a sudden you're 3-0 and you haven't lost yet, because no one projected that. So, and by the way, there's kind of a subtopic here that people haven't really grasped, because of the political climate. Is really, really difficult for clubs to register players completely. And whether that's their work permits, whether that's the onset of pushing through and trying to get your green cards, which changes your kind of foreign quota. All of these things are a big, big challenge right now in Major League Soccer. And I think we're really not going to see the full complement of rosters that are fully fit, fully bedded in, and playing the style that we kind of expect teams to see, because it's been such a scatterbrained preseason. I honestly don't think you're going to see the true kind of understanding of what a team is until week 5. But as I say that, Orlando City just fired Oscar Pareja after 3 matches, something that I didn't think was quite necessary, but obviously ownership saw the opportunity to make a change and go to a different direction.
That's really interesting what you say about getting players over. Are you hearing that from MLS clubs that you talk to about the challenge? Like, that's just something that isn't really, unless it's just falling under my radar, it doesn't feel like that's a big narrative right now.
So I'm out here in Salt Lake City, and I can tell you that their first match was on the road at Vancouver. So not only do you have to get all of your paperwork done in the United States, you also have to get all your paperwork done for Canada. So all of a sudden, Ola Tunji gets his eye scratched. Diego Luna goes down with a knee injury. Guila Vogie is still in France. Stein Stenhouse is still in Holland. Sanabria got done the day before the game against Seattle, which was match day 2. and they still haven't been able to recover Arias, their new center back. So out of the $14 million they spent in the offseason, theoretically, they've only had 2 of their foreign players available outside of Lucas Engel coming over from FC Cincinnati. 2 of the 5 foreign players that they've signed have played, not started, but played, a somewhat maybe 40 to 60 minutes in the last 2 matches in totality. So yeah, no, it's a big question mark. Even a couple of years ago, I remember in Seattle, Yamar, their big center back, he had to go to Colombia and he was stuck down there for 2.5 weeks in the hotel. So now all of a sudden he's losing rhythm of training. He's losing game fitness as opposed to just running on a treadmill and trying to stay fit. And then you've got guys that are maybe like 5% away from getting their green card, but now that's going to be delayed. So some of the paperwork would be, 7 to 10 days. Now it could take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. And I think that's one of the reasons why you're seeing kind of the foreign roster spots being traded so significantly for value right now, is because teams are having to kind of play chess with checkers or play checkers with chess, depending on how you see it.
So City will match up against LAFC this weekend on the road. LAFC has had a nice start to their season for sure. What are some of the things that you're going to be looking for from City to give them an opportunity to have some success in this match? Yeah,
I'll take it from an LAFC standpoint. This will be match 3 that Tio Max Bredos and I have done together for LAFC. We did the game down in Houston, and we did last weekend against FC Dallas. Obviously, Danny Bouanga and Sung Hyung Min are the dynamic duo, but the young Venezuelan, David Martinez on that right-hand side, all left foot, loves to cut inside, loves to combine, and had an absolute golazo last weekend for the game winner against FC Dallas. They added Stefan Eustachio from Canada, so he sits in the middle with Mark Delgado and Tim Tillman. They're really dynamic, and if Sonny drops into the midfield, Tim Tillman's going to make that direct run right through the heart. They're kind of tilted where they're dominant down the right-hand side for the back 4 with Sergi Palencia. That means Eddie Segura stays home more often than not. And then very quietly, for all the right reasons, we've been talking about Roman Berkey over the last couple of years. Well, Hugo Lloris now is on 15 clean sheets since the start of last season. LAFC drew midweek against Alajuelense, really disappointing result. So now they have St. Louis at home. Then they go to Costa Rica at Alajuelense, 1-1 aggregate. And then they go to Austin afterwards. So a great opportunity to take advantage of maybe some heavy legs for St. Louis City. But I think it's all about the idea of combativeness, setting the tone physically. And I think this is where FC Dallas, I think, was fantastic in LAFC. They made it kind of a machismo game, a mano a mano, where I'm going to kick you and I'm going to make sure that you know you and I'm in your space. And I think that really did upset the rhythm and made it difficult for LAFC to find something special.
Do want to remind our listeners that essentially MLS Season Pass doesn't exist anymore. All the content that was part of it exists, but now you don't need the extra. There's no extra paywall. So if you've got Apple TV because you love Ted Lasso, because you love The Morning Show, those are my 2 favorite Apple TV shows. You have access to every single MLS match, the whip around show they do, just everything. So Brian, I got to think there's even more eyes on the content you guys are putting out, which is fantastic.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean it's been significant numbers, and a quick reminder for everyone: in 2025, MLS spent 80% more. The collective ownership spent 80% more on incoming players. And a lot of people would say, okay, well, we're talking about Rodrigo De Paul, we're talking about Son Heung-min, we're talking about Thomas Muller, those type of players. The average age was coming in 24 and a half. So right now, remember, this is the last time that we're going to see MLS in this type of specific format, understanding at the end of this season in December, short sprint season, then we align with the international calendar to start 27-28. So this is going to be a fun one. And credit to MLS and Apple for being nimble and realizing the great opportunity to take advantage of not only Lionel Messi, but now with the F1 content that comes along with Apple and dropping that double paywall, it's all there in plain sight for everyone to consume.
Brian, great stuff. Thank you so much for the time. I'm sure we'll catch up again down the line.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Very good. That's Brian Dunseth. He is going to be the match analyst coming up this weekend as City matches up against LAFC. We'll take a break. We'll jump back into Cardinals baseball. We'll do that next. It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-907-0892. 314-907-0892. That's 314-907-0892.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Indian psychic and spiritual healer in St. Louis. Call 314-574-2667. Expert specialist in reuniting loved ones and husband and wife issues, family problems, and unnatural health and sickness, business and job-related issues. Special remedies to deal with negative energy, love spells, black magic issues, evil energies, and curse removal. Performs all types of spiritual prayers to heal the negative energy, balance the chakras, and much more. Contact Master Raj at 314-574-2667.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It's a Gray Bar Sports Open line right here on KMOX. So Italy right now leads Mexico 5-0. Does that mean the U.S. is now? I believe, I don't want to be a beacon of misinformation here. I believe that means the U.S. has advanced, right? Do I have that right? I'm no like AAU soccer, baseball dad here, but the way I understood the tiebreakers, yeah, I believe the United States. Yes, USA. I'm going with Bob Nightingale, which I love Bob. USA is now in the quarterfinals. They have officially clinched a spot Friday night to play Canada or Puerto Rico. There it is. So congratulations, Team USA. You are into the quarterfinals of the WBC, and we can put our pitchforks down and no longer have to have them in the direction of Mark DeRosa. No, you know what? No. We don't have to put our pitchforks down. Raise those pitchforks up. Let's go after Mark DeRosa. I don't care that they're into the quarterfinals. It was terrible. It was terrible what he did and him not understanding the rules and then trying to come back around on the other side and saying, oh yeah, I understood the rules. That's my Mark DeRosa impersonation. It's terrible. It's a terrible impersonation. But no, we're not putting the pitchforks down. I give you permission to raise those pitchforks as high as you want. There you go. Congratulations, Team USA. You're where you're supposed to be. I got a text message. We were talking about Jordan Walker earlier. Text message from 314. Walker does not recognize pitches. He can't tell what kind of a pitch is. It's as if it's when it's coming to him. That's why he's still swinging pitches low and away. And then a text message right after that with a bunch of exclamation points. Please talk about that. Like we don't talk about that. We talk about that ad nauseum. That is like Kevin Wheeler and I talk about swing decisions to a point where I bet people get sick of us talking about swing decisions because like, I know there are people out there that want to hear us talk about batting average, home runs, and RBIs. I mean, don't even bring OPS into the conversation. I know there's people out there, and I'm kind of being facetious when I say, like, I understand. I'm not mad at you if that's who you are. Like, I get it. We're a little baseball nerdy. We go a little bit, but we talk about it all the time. Swing decision, such an important part of what's going. That's why Alec Burleson won a Silver Slugger last year, because he started making better swing decisions. It is such an impactful thing. Swing at pitches that you can do damage on, and don't swing at pitches that you can't do damage on. And sometimes there's going to be a strike that you don't swing at. And you know what? You might even strike out occasionally because of that. Not the end of the world if you are more often swinging at pitches that you can do damage on. And that is the number one issue with Jordan Walker. When I was asked about Jordan Walker before spring training, all I said was the only thing I cared about was swing decisions. That's all I cared about. Swinging at pitches that he should be swinging at. The other stuff can come later. Start swinging at better pitches. Then we can learn about just, putting these things into the ground over and over and over again. That's the first thing that's got to get fixed. It's not fixed right now. To the texter, you say, please talk about that, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, so on and so forth. I just did. It's Graybar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. If it's cold outside, the team at Morelli Tuck Pointing is still busy. During colder months, Morelli can inspect any exposed brick inside your house. If your basement has a stone or black wall, Morelli can remove the worn-out mortar from that wall and replace it with new mortar. This tuck pointing work will reinforce your foundation, prevent water from entering your home, and thwart pests. This is a great time to get the inside of your garage inspected, and the same goes for your brick or stone fireplace. I've used Morelli Tuck Pointing to repair the chimneys, walkways, and walls of 2 homes here in St. Louis. The Morelli bids are fair, their crews are super polite, and they clean their job sites. Don't take my word for it. Check out the reviews on Google. Winner of the BBB Torch Award and the Next Door Neighbor Fave Award, 35 years in business, an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
An important message from S&L Coins.
S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
Taking care of your health should be simple. And with the Neovitin monthly subscription, it finally is. Choose your doctor-formulated multivitamin and we'll deliver it straight to your door every month. No more running out, no more remembering to reorder, just consistent nutrition made easy. Plus, subscribers save 10% every month and can pause or cancel at any time. Visit neovitin.com and start your subscription today. Neovitin, trusted nutrition every day.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at ledermanlaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Friday morning, it's men's Billikens basketball Atlantic 10 tournament play. Pregame 10:15, tip at 10:30. Hear all the action here on your home for Billikens basketball, KMOX.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Tom Ackerman is in Jupiter, Florida, with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Give your walls the most advanced protection with Pittsburgh's Paramount Interior Paint and Primer in one. It's scuff, scrub, and wear resistant, while also blocking stains and delivering true one-coat coverage. Choose from thousands of color options and refresh your space for spring. View our entire selection of paint and accessories today on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer to find great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-907-0892. 314-907-0892. That's 314-907-0892.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Does heart disease run in your family? Give yourself peace of mind with our cardiac MRI bundles at Specialty MRI. Personalized scans designed to give you clear, meaningful answers. No long waiting rooms. Scan today for peace of mind tomorrow. Call us at 314-899-2075. That's 314-899-2075.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino